Alright, that's one heavy chunk of steel. Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with The Last Huntsman Outdoors here. And here I have the Exodus knife and tool Jacob Peterson designed Workhorse. This thing is an absolute monstrous chunk of steel. It's almost a ½ inch thick of 1084. Awesome blade. Let's check this knife out. Alright, so here's the Workhorse. It comes with, or at least the model that I got here has two different variants of sheaths. It has a Kydex option, and the one I like is the leather option. This one's made by Spirit of the Bear. If you guys seen my knife design, that's the same maker as the leather. Look at how thick that is. It's 1084 steel, almost a ½ inch thick. It's about a 6-inch blade or so roughly. Actually, I got, this is the Architect knives 6.5. So yeah, it's actually right about the same blade length as that, and same overall length. So that's just to kind of give you guys a little bit of sizing. Here I have a piece of Osage orange, one of the hardest woods out there, at least in my area. And here I have the Workhorse designed by Jacob Peterson. Let's see if this big chunky knife can get through this very hard wood. I'm very impressed. I've gotten knives stuck in Osage before. Finish this. Epically thick and epically beast mode. Is an epic batoner. If it can reach it, it's gonna baton it. And one thing that's really nice is it has that jimping right there. So your baton doesn't want to slip off like on some other knives. It's a piece of hardwood that I'm going through. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it almost looks like hickory to me. I could be wrong. I'm not the best at identifying trees. Another task I'm going to do with the Workhorse, this is a deer spine. See what the Workhorse can do on bone here. Straight through a deer spine. Edge looks just fine. This is basically what the BK2 and the SE5 wanted to be. Let's try to do some chopping with it here. This thing hits like a freaking truck. All right, another test I'm gonna do. This knife has an epically thick tip and just epically thick everything. I'm just gonna do some tip testing here. I've kind of gotten away from tip testing knives just because I think it's kind of silly, honestly, in a lot of ways. But that being said, this one I feel like is kind of almost designed to be just that heavy duty pry bar type of knife too. So a lot of it, in my opinion, just comes down to intended use and purpose here. I'm not going to worry about doing any notches here, but I am going to try to cross grain baton this thing and just almost through. This knife can take a beating for sure, but that's why Jacob designed it this way, is just that damn near indestructible knife. Just gonna do my Ninja Death Grip and some slicing here. Now, this is not going to be like your fine slicing type of knife. However, with it being as thick as it is, it actually doesn't do bad at all. I will say I think it's a little better actually than some of your other real thick knives like the BK2 and the SE5. Now, ergonomically, it feels good, but it is big. And I have medium-sized hands, so it's slightly too big for my hands, but it still feels okay. I will say if you had bigger hands, like a large or X-large or XX large even, it would probably feel a lot better in your hand. I'll actually try the choil, because I've always actually doing this like slicing type of stuff. The choil actually feels pretty good on here. I've always been kind of mixed feelings on a choil. I think on some knives it feels great and other knives it doesn't. So I'm kind of hit and miss with the choil. But yeah, it does actually feel pretty decent. All right, another task I'm going to do here with the Workhorse. So I'm just going to try to make a steak. Something that's really nice about this knife is that it actually can do a lot of tasks like what a hatchet or even a larger knife can do, because it's so thick and forward heavy here. When chopping, the grip back there, I just kind of grab it like I do my Beckers and just let the weight of the blade really do most of the work for me. Of course, I never really get a steak just super sharp because it's going to go right into the ground, but it does a pretty good job. All right, another thing we're going to talk about is the sheaths that this knife can come with. It has two options, a Kydex and the leather sheath. Now, I personally gravitate on the leather sheath. I like it quite a bit better. The Kydex, pretty nice. It has real tight fit retention. However, the leather is just super classy, and I think it fits this knife a little better. Be sure to check out Spirit of the Bear Leather. He makes this sheath and he does all kinds of custom sheaths for people. It's the maker I decided to go with my knife design. Now it does have a belt loop here. However, he also put grommets here for if you're going to do like a baldric. And for this weight of knife, I would personally go with a baldric. I wouldn't want this on my hip because it's a lot of weight. I mean, I don't know what it actually weighs, but it feels like it's like legit like 3 or 4 pounds almost for this knife. It's very heavy. So I would probably even have Spirit of the Bear Leather, Michael Spangers, make a baldric and just kind of carry it almost like this. But that's personally how I would carry this knife. That being said, the sheaths are awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video on the Workhorse. My overall thoughts and impressions is this is really honestly what I think the Becker BK2 and the SE5, just that thick chunky type of knife, I think this is what they wanted to be. Like, this knife does what those do, but better in about every way. It has a little better edge geometry, it's thicker, and it just has a little bit more blade length, and it's more capable in about every way. The Exodus Knife and Tool Workhorse is an amazing knife. Be sure to check out Exodus Knife and Tool. Check out Jacob Peterson's channel. I'm going to be sending this knife to Scab with Choir Boys Outdoors, so be sure to check out his video too, because I'm sure he's going to have some fun with this one. With all that being said, be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.